In the early morning of Tuesday, June the 6th, 1944, as Britain slept, Company Sergeant Major Stan Hollis of 6th Battalion Green Howards clambered down the scrambling nets on the side of the cargo ship Empire Lance and into the landing craft, taking him the final sea-sickening miles to Gold Beach. As Hollis's craft lurched toward shore, he saw a German position in the middle of the sector toward which he and his men were heading. Seizing a Lewis gun from another soldier, Stan gave the pillbox 2 magazines of automatic fire. No fire was returned. A few minutes later, having sprinted up the beach, Hollis discovered his pillbox was only the tram shelter for the local light railway. The Hollis hut is now in the proud possession of his regiment. The much-awaited Allied Second Front in the West, codenamed Operation Overlord, had begun to take shape. From 0630, the early summer sun had illuminated the landings from the greatest armada of ships ever assembled. Overnight, paratroopers from the British 6th Airborne Division had secured the eastern flank of the landing zone, while the US 82nd and 101st Airborne Divisions had seized the western flank to reduce the risk of German counterattacks. Ironically, the unseasonal bad weather, which had already forced a 24-hour postponement of the amphibious assault, had persuaded the German High Command that the weather was too bad for the Allies to launch their assault that day. Field Marshal Rommel, in command of Army Group B in the Normandy sector, had returned to Germany to celebrate his wife's birthday, while senior officers from 7th Army were gathering in Rennes for a study day to review their anti-invasion plans. As the day commenced, HMS Belfast, now maintained in the Thames by the United Kingdom's Imperial War Museum, began its bombardment of the German defences above Gold Beach, onto which Stan Hollis's Green Howard soldiers were storming ashore. Farther west, the assault by the US 4th Infantry Division had secured Utah Beach at a cost of only 197 casualties, but the fighting on Omaha Beach still hung in the balance. The untested US 29th Infantry Division assaulted the western half of the 8-kilometre beach, while the battle-hardened 1st Infantry Division was allocated the eastern sector. The beach was overlooked by rising bluffs, defended by the experienced German 352nd Infantry Division, recently reassigned to Normandy from the Russian front. The intensity of the fighting is captured in the opening sequences of Steven Spielberg's film Saving Private Ryan. The spectre of disaster hovered as casualties mounted. An unidentified US lieutenant is credited with cajoling reluctant infantrymen. "Are you going to lay there and get killed, or get up and do something about it?" The fighting on Omaha Beach came closest to realizing the Allied leadership's nightmare of the failure of Overlord. There was no plan B, only evacuation.